So why I think Atiku and the PDP should lose the 2023 presidential election. The PDP candidate, well, he has been an actual mainstay in the Nigerian politics, and he was once vice president to ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo. Well, little wonder why he's yet to be president of Nigeria. He's actually run a lot of times, and yet he's yet to be president. It can be argued he actually won the last presidential election, and with the APC doing what they did and having the results sway their way, Atiku kind of acts presidential. I think he's arguably probably the most experienced presidential candidate, and he actually understands Nigeria. But he understands Nigerian politics, or would I say he understands the state of Nigeria, because he was actually the vice presidential candidate of Obasanjo, and then Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was the president for a long time. So the PDP were in power for a long time, and Atiku has been a main power broker in the PDP, although he left at the time, but he's been with the PDP for a long time. But my problem with Atiku, or rather would I say the problem with Atiku, which he himself fails to understand, is he fails to understand how to play the game of politics. And I think this is the main reason why he has failed in the past, and it won't be a major surprise to anyone, including to some PDP party members, if he fails again to be president of Nigeria. So one of the main reasons why I think Atiku might lose the presidential election come 2023 is because of his ego. Atiku is basically overconfident that he's going to win, and this is based on the poor performances of the APC, having been in power for the last 8 years with President Buhari at the helm, and the APC people turning the country into more depression. Nigeria is hardly recognizable by anyone anymore, and it's just unpleasant, I would say, for everyone, apart from the APC power brokers, I would think. Apart from the elites, as the majority of Nigerians would say, so including the PDP, because the PDP and the APC are usually categorized as one. So Atiku basically feels he gets the majority of the northern votes, with having not to contest against any northerner. But what he fails to realize is the thought process of educated Nigerians and the tribal nature of Nigerians from the other geopolitical zones. Let me explain. So, just like Atiku believes he'll be gaining most of the northern votes this time, so does Bola Tinubu believes he's going to be getting most of the western votes, as well as Peter Obi believing that he's going to be getting most of the eastern votes. And one can easily understand the tribal nature of Nigeria and know why things should work out like that. So Atiku actually has more work to do than he actually thinks he has to do. And if he doesn't fail to let go of his ego, to realize the challenge before him, because he has a formidable foe at least in Tinubu himself and the APC, and they are the ruling party, and they know how to play dirty, which Atiku is yet to understand how to play the game and being dirty when he is required to be. He doesn't understand that, and that takes me to the other points, which is the Wike conundrum. So Nyesom Wike, the Wike conundrum. So Atiku has a problem with Wike. He made a wrong choice choosing Okowa as his running mate in not just in my own opinion, but in a lot of other people's opinion as well. So it's obvious that there's a rift in the PDP's party, and this is a major rift because I don't think Wike is going to let this go. So it's easy for Atiku to be deluded by watching elections in the USA and thinking that, Wike should support him regardless because Wike is a PDP member, and even if Wike doesn't support him, Wike should be just passive. I do not think that will be the case. I might explain why in a later video, but I don't think that's going to be the case, because Wike actually remains a major player in the PDP, and he has a lot of people loyal to him, just like Atiku does as well. And yes, arguably Atiku has a higher standing, and he won the presidential primaries. I mean, everyone saw that. A lot of people saw how that panned out. But Wike wasn't far off, and considering that it was his first trial or so, yeah, from my knowledge, I haven't been. Yeah, from my knowledge. So, Atiku, I felt if you should go to our website, uptownstate.com, I actually felt Atiku should pick Wike as his running mate. I mean, it was even before the PDP's primaries. I thought Atiku would pick Wike regardless of his running mate. I always knew Atiku was going to come out victorious and win the presidential ticket, but I felt he was actually going to pick Wike as his running mate. And him failing to do that and choosing a more lackadaisical Okowa as his running mate, I mean, it's not going to be an easy mountain to climb. It's a tall task. I mean, it's a tall order. It's going to be very difficult for Atiku to get through that. The rumors are he's trying to pacify Wike, but Wike is not a kid. You can't just push him to the corner. And say what you may, given the reason that Wike is unpresidential because he's loudmouthed and he will be unable to work with Wike, it's going to be easier for Wike not to support Atiku and actually play a role in making Atiku fail in his presidential bid, and then he comes out victorious easily next year as the PDP presidential candidate and wins the ticket for the PDP, and then goes on to contest for the presidency for years to come till he gets the chance of winning. We've all seen the APC Tinubu loyalists going over to Wike to try to sway him. I think I have an idea of what they try to sway him with. I'm going to mention this later at a later video. It's actually sweet. It's actually a top position in the government. And I think Wike would go for that because it's the next best thing. Unless Atiku or Okowa himself resigns, then I don't see how the PDP are going to win without a Wike support, which I feel they're going to find it hard to come by. So watch out for the next episode on why I think the Labour Party and P2B are not going to win the 2023 presidential election.